The left has called President Donald Trump everything but his name from the time he decided to run against Hillary Clinton. As the Trump presidency progresses, more and more has been uncovered about just how crooked and despicable the Obama administration was. In the era of Harvey Weinstein, #MeToo, and rampant accusations of sexual misconduct, those pious leftists quick to label President Donald Trump a sexist, pervert, or worse are now going to have to eat a little crow. A new report from the Department of Justice's Inspector General details just how tainted former President Barack Obama's presidency was with allegations of sexual misconduct. The Washington Post reports on what they term as a department was marred with systemic issues regarding sexual harassment complaints in the past 5 years. Yet conveniently neglected to mention any leadership to be held accountable for allowing such a culture to flourish. Apparently, holding the likes of Obama and former Attorneys General Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch accountable for their actions, any of their actions, is simply too much to ask. The Washington Post reports. Justice supervisors have mishandled complaints, the IG said, and some perpetrators were given little discipline or even later rewarded with bonuses or performance awards. At the same time, the number of allegations of sexual misconduct has been increasing over the past 5 years, and the complaints have involved senior Justice Department officials across the country. The cases examined by the IG's office include a U.S. attorney who had a sexual relationship with a subordinate and sent harassing texts and emails when it ended, a civil division lawyer who groped the breasts and buttocks of 2 female trial attorneys, and a chief deputy U.S. Marshal who had sex with approximately 9 women on multiple occasions in his U.S. Marshal Service office, according to investigative reports obtained by the Washington Post under a Freedom of Information Act request. The Justice Department required high-level action to combat a rampant culture of harassment and abuse, fostering an environment where the ignoring or mishandling complaints of sexual misconduct was the norm even amongst senior officials in the Obama administration, according to the IG's report. Despite the issue increasing in severity during Obama's second term, Washington Post reporter Sari Horwitz declined to mention senior administration officials, even though the most troubling allegations, according to the IG, happened under their watch. Justice Department Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz stated, "We're talking about presidential appointees, political appointees, FBI special agents in charge, U.S. attorneys, wardens, a chief deputy U.S. Marshal, a U.S. Marshal Assistant Director, a deputy Assistant Attorney General. When employees engage in such misconduct, it profoundly affects the victim and affects the agency's reputation, undermines the agency's credibility, and lowers employee productivity and morale. Without strong action from the department to ensure that DOJ employees meet the highest standards of conduct and accountability, the systemic issues we identified in our work may continue. We were troubled to learn that subjects of pending sexual misconduct investigations or individuals who had been recently disciplined for sexual misconduct still received performance awards." According to the IG's report, one woman, alleged she was repeatedly groped and endured sexually charged comments, said she became so disturbed by her harasser that she was terrified I was going to get in the elevator and he would be in there. On top of what any thinking person would term as gross negligence in the handling of complaints, the Justice Department allowed potential criminal assault violations, not just to occur but fostered an environment where they thrived, according to the IG report. Yet despite these most serious allegations, the IG's office found no evidence in the case file that a referral was made to the Inspector General or any other law enforcement entity. In one such incident, Theodore Atkinson, who worked in the DOJ as an attorney in the Office of Immigration Litigation under Holder, according to his LinkedIn, admitted to stalking a female co-worker. In so doing, he hacked into her personal email account and chose to construct a fictitious online profile to entice her, the IG wrote. For his felonious and reprehensible behavior, Atkinson merely received a written reprimand and reduction in title. There was no suspension from his job, no pay cut, and he was certainly never fired for his criminal acts. Instead, he was recently given a special commendation award from the Civil Division. In 2015, Lynch did make a token effort to quell this apparent rampant culture of sexual misconduct by announcing that $2.7 million in grants would be allocated to strengthen the justice system's response to sexual assault, read a DOJ statement released at the time. It seems the left has done much to foster this sort of behavior and to enable those who would prey on others the ability to continue. All in an effort to maintain the image of the Obama administration as something it clearly never has been and never was. One waits with bated breath to see if the feminists will bleat on endlessly about this culture of corruption or if mainstream media will continue to ignore this flagrant hypocrisy by the left. I think we both already know the answer to that.